Good evening. This is Tisha Alternatives Beauty Studio.
And this is Tanika Gillard. I am naturally yours in Birmingham, Alabama.
We are sorry to be starting late today. Tanika is at work, and we did not want to come to you live while she was at work today. So we might have to actually change the time of our Wednesday show. We're not sure yet. We're still mulling that over. But, uh, you know, we're happy that you're coming on today. How's your day
Thank
going,
you
Nikki?
for joining us. Thank you for joining us. And catch the replay if you don't catch us now.
Yes. How was your day, Nikki? While we wait a few more seconds.
Tiring, just a little tired, but it's all good. No complaints. No
Okay.
complaints. About you?
A relaxing day for me today. I took the day off. I just needed a break because everybody wants to get in the first week back or the first 2 weeks back or whatever.
It's 4th of July. It's 4th of July
Fourth of
weekend.
July, yes, they're not going to kill me, Nikki. They're not going to kill me.
Okay, okay.
On your part, it's not an emergency on mine. So,
Uh-oh, uh-oh. Yes. And so, audience, we just talk like this because this is our way of seeing each other at least twice a week, live, So we're just catching up while we wait for you guys. But y'all are free to join the conversation.
yes, for sure. All right, so let's get into it, Tanika. Tonight we're going to talk about children and extensions. How do you feel about that?
It depends on the age of the child. I think that anything under 5 is too young. And that's my personal because the hair follicles haven't grown and matured. It could be very heavy on the child. Granted, you want I don't think that parents are patient enough nowadays, to let their children's hair grow. They don't want the pickaninny ponytails and stuff. They want it full and lavish. But when you add the extensions on so young, you're damaging their hair, causing more issues for later on in life where their hair won't grow or will constantly break off, break off, break off. I don't think that children under 5 need extension. And even after that, they need minimal amount with the tension. Tension is a big deal for me as well. But we'll go on to that in a minute. What are your thoughts?
Yes, I agree. I'm not even sure if 5 years old is old enough because they are still so young. I really have a problem with that. I think for me personally, maybe 8 or 9 years old. I see a lot of young children do have them, but for parents, for some, it's like, oh, it's easier, or it stays neater, or whatever the reason is. That's what they find is easier for them. However, like you said, the follicles are not mature enough to handle. And sometimes, depending on the braider, it could be too much hair added. It could be heavy.
Yes.
And then now you're causing more harm than good just for that temporary look, just so the child's hair will stay the way you want it to stay so you don't have to do it or what have you. And,
But the
we
thing
gotta think
is,
about
you think it's cute.
yes. And then you have to think
Hmm.
about the child as well. Can they really handle that? I someone stopped me last week um because and her child was like 5 years old. And my grandson, he is 4 and he sits no problem just to get his own regular hair braided. But she had gone to a salon and the stylist she asked the stylist to not braid so tight. And the stylist was like, you know what? I can't deal with you, take your child elsewhere. So I ran into
Wow.
her at the beauty supply store and she asked me if I could do her child's hair. And I said, with extensions? And she said, yes, with extensions. And then she told me the story. But that raised a red flag to me because, okay, was the stylist braiding heavily? And that could be a possibility. But was your child able to sit there and really take the braiding? Like, because I'm funny with that. Like, I will ask a parent straight out, is your child going to sit for the braids? Is your child, and just to get them in the seat, they'll say yes. But then when they get there, it's like, no, they're crying to get their hair washed. They're crying to sit in the chair. The parent has to hover over. The parent has to sit in the chair with the child,
Hmm.
and so is the child really ready? And that's one of the other things. So when she told me about what happened at the other salon, then I was like, I'm sorry, because I really don't know. They're going to tell me what they want me to hear, but I was like, I'm sorry, I don't know. And I wasn't going to say nothing about that stylist because I know her personally. And, I just didn't want to put myself in that position because what if now I took the child and she feels like my hands are heavy, then that's going to be bad on me, and no. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I understand because I don't generally do children under the age of 13. I might do 11 or 12. I might do them under the age 13 if I do the parents' hair and I got to know the child, I'll do that. But even with that, I've had a parent and I said, and she's been a client forever. Her eldest daughter is a client, and I started doing the baby, and I told her I did it twice. I said, I cannot do your daughter's hair until she's 13 because she's too tender-headed. She moves too much in the seat and she cries and complains. And then when it's over with, oh, everything is good. She's in the mirror, but just the whole process is a headache for me. And there are stylists that like doing children's hair. So if that's what you like to do, then that's you. But for myself, I'll do 13 and up. I had a young man. He fit the age. I think he was about 14 at the time, who when his parents or his father was there, he sat real strong and tall like a man. But once his father left, oh, he was squirming in the chair and, just a mess. And I'm like, you was all good when your dad was here. Now he's gone and you acting like this. So I think that even with age, sometime it doesn't matter. If you're tender-headed, you're tender-headed, but I think that that's too young of an age to get any extension. You weigh it down, it's too heavy, it's too tight. You put all this crochet in there. It's like, that's a mess. It's a mess. It's not even cute, in my opinion. I have seen some extension styles that are cute, I have to say. Just simple ponytail styles, like easy that you would believe that it's their own hair. When it's egregious, when it's just over the top with a lot of hair, that is just too much for me. But to each his own, to each parent, but I do appreciate parents that take your professional advice and say, hey, not right now, this is not the best time, this is not the best for them. Especially if I had a client who was of age and she had just some edge problems, and I would not braid the edges. And so the mother was like, well, the Africans were braided. I said, it's so damaged that I'm not going to cause extra harm. So I'm like, if you want to, you could take them to the Africans, but to preserve her edges, I'm not going to do it because I don't want that on the Naturally Yours name or brand, because everyone knows I'm to protect the edges, and that's what I'm about.
All right. And mine was totally opposite. I find that it's easier for me to do the children once the parents exit. So yours are better when the parents stay. Mine are better when the parents exit. So,
Hmm.
you know, because I could get it done because then the parents are not like just hovering over. Can you da, da, da? No, and the parents, the child gets it. So it's totally
Hmm.
opposite. And I do agree. There are some very very cute hairstyles for children out there when it's done tastefully. But then you have some that's like, what are you doing? Like, is that all necessary? So yeah, I agree with, most of everything that we're in agreement, like, on this subject. But I don't have a problem doing children's hair. It's just if they can sit, I can work with them, but, and a lot of times, sometimes, the kids will come and they'll have their like iPads or whatever, their little something to keep them going. And I love that. It's just the ones when you know that your child cannot sit, then I really feel like, parents should be honest with that. But if they can't sit, then I have to say, I'm sorry, I just can't, or I'll give a different service, like maybe I'll wash and blow dry, but then I can't braid or something like that.
Yeah. Also, I know we weren't going to talk about locks tonight, but you have parents that want their children's hair locked at a young age as well. And I don't have a problem with that, but be sure that that's something that they're going to want long term. So I've had several young people come to get their children's hair locked, because again, it is easier. And as they grow and their hair grows, it gets the length and the maturity. And I think that they become more confident, because that's what most little girls want, is long hair, flowy and nice and pretty.
Yeah, but we got to even be careful with that because I just had a client for years. She was just with me like 2 weeks ago, and she did have her locks. She wanted her locks. She wanted her hair like mine. And I was just like, oh, and then, she was being bullied at school, but it's the area that I live in as well. So maybe 2 years later, she ended up cutting her locks off. So now we do extensions. But, you got to be careful of that as well. But her locks were gorgeous. I was like, no, why are you going to cut them? But I understood at the end of the day, she wasn't comfortable, and she was being bullied at school. And so,
That's awful.
mom had to do what she had to do. And I won't even go any further with that story because,
Okay. 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 Once again, this is Tanika Gillard. I am Nikki of Naturally Yours in Birmingham, Alabama.
And this is Tisha McDonald, Alternatives Beauty Studio in Pennsylvania.
Yeah. So if y'all ever want to look at some pictures, a book, make an appointment, you could go to IamNaturallyYours.com.
Or you can call Alternatives Beauty Studio at 570-424-2900.
So children with extensions, I think that sometimes that affects their self-esteem if that's all that they've worn for all their life. And, if it's constantly, getting extensions or something, I don't know. I think maybe periodically it might be okay. I know for school parents like that, but sometimes they need to get to know their own hair, adjust to their own hair, love their own hair. But I think too that sometimes parents have to set the example for the children. We're in a different time where natural hair is acceptable, more acceptable than back in the day. So I have had parents that have gone natural because they want their children to be natural. I locked my hair, relocked my hair along with my daughter because I wanted us to do the journey together. So I think that, and I have a friend, Joelle, whose daughter, she goes to a different school, but she had to learn to be confident with who she was with her natural hair. She got beautiful hair, a lot of hair. And so she had to learn to love her hair and not want to have necessarily straight hair. So.
Yeah, that is the other thing. Once you start putting these extensions in the children's hair, then they expect it all the time. I find that to be so true, having alternatives for now 11 years. Today makes
Yay.
our 11th year anniversary. Boom,
Yay.
boom. So, yeah, I do find that, when they start young, then they always want the extension. And sometimes it's like, okay, well, you have to give your hair a break. Oh, what's the break? 2 days? No, you need to give it a rest, And so then they start to cry and be very upset if the parents say, no, you can't have it this time. Because sometimes it's an affordability thing too. Like the parents like, no, I can't afford that today. And then they're crying and having this, panic attack because now they don't have the extensions in their hair and they don't get to really love their hair. And I think that's also the world we're living in today because yes, we have our natural root going, but we also have our weaves, extensions, lace fronts, and all of that's going as well. And the kids are gonna want what they see,
Yeah.
So what do we want our children to see? So. And I'm all for it. I'm for whatever, but I'm just saying sometimes the kids need a break for their confidence.
Yes.
How you doing, Tawanda? So what else do you have to say on the, 9 years old is a good age, I think, for kids to start wearing the extensions and maybe according to their maturity too as well, because sometimes now these kids are very active into sports and everything like that. Now I can't be a hypocrite because Rayleigh has been wearing extensions from little, but she has a lot of hair. Let me just say that her hair is very healthy. But I think I started Rayleigh, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8 with the extensions. Probably 7, like for the first hair show or second hair show, because the first hair show she wore her own hair. So for the second hair show, she did wear extension. And with that extension, she wore like a little color. It was a little lavender, a little jazz to her.
I think that's her in the background, T.
That is her in the background, but that's not with an extension. That's her natural
the baby
hair.
One? Oh, okay. That was her natural. Yeah. Okay.
And she was 3 there. She was 3. And now, you know, I don't know. There she is, you know, over here.
There
With
you
the,
go. There you go. We
she's
see ya.
13, and she's 13 now, though. So, yeah, with a little color. I think she was 7 when I first did extensions on her hair. And that's because
But
she's part
you
of,
know, you
she's part of, you know, and the kids are very active. They're into sports, they're into whatever. So, you know, sometimes they need those extensions to get them through.
through the
Um,
season. Yeah,
yeah.
sometimes parents will do that just to get them through the season.
Mhm.
And I'm cool with that.
So that's it. That's my feeling on that. That's my feeling on that.
Mhm. Oh, okay. Now I see Tawanda. Hey, Tawanda. Thank you for joining us. And for those who haven't joined us live, you can catch the replay. We are talking about or giving our opinions on what age should children start wearing extension, because you know that can be damaging to the follicles. It could be damaging to their self-esteem if that's all that they've known from little all the way up. Um, and I think that education is important. Your stylist needs to be educated. Sometimes we try to take the cheaper shortcut route and do the home thing, you know, with somebody in the neighborhood that does it. And that's when we get the real damage and the real issues of the heaviness of the braid, the tightness of the braid, the overabundance of the crochet. I mean, I don't need the 3-year-old shouldn't have the long box braids that's weighing their head down. And I've seen that. It's like, no, 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 no. The baby can't even walk because the braids are so heavy and so long.
Or to be
Um, yeah, trying to be cute. And then sometimes I think sometimes parents can be lazy and leave them in too long. And then when you take them out, then we got other scalp issues. And I think that we have to be more cognizant, more aware, and more proactive when it comes to taking care of our children and their hair. Because cleanliness, it starts from the scalp, you know, and so we got to make sure that their scalp is clean, they're drinking water, that we're getting those braids out in enough time and not just letting them sit there. I'm sorry, I'm taking over. Sorry.
no, but you had hit on a couple of things. One is, you know, at least if you're going to put the extension in, let it be realistic. Don't let it be down the back. You know your child's hair is not that long. Why are we making it extreme? You know, that's one thing, because then that's when
Mhm.
they start doing this. And then you see, I can't fling my hair because it's still in its updo, but you know, you see their whole attitude, personality change at the end. It's like, you know, and then that's when that self-esteem thing happens at the end when it's time to take them out. I'm ugly. I don't like my hair. I don't.
Yeah.
That's because now you have this long, long hair. Now when you have to take it out, then it's, you know, it's something
Hmm.
different to them. You know, it's like their reality. Like, no, this is not
Right.
yours. You know.
Right.
So, but and there was something else you had mentioned, the cleanliness of it. Like sometimes the parents don't take care of it, and you can say, all right, let's take the different techniques to clean in between the braids. There's different braid cleaners out there. There's lemon juice and water. There is sea breeze in a cotton swab. There's witch hazel in a cotton swab. There's so many different ways you can get to that scalp and clean it. You can use shampoo, but a clear shampoo, you know, not a creamy shampoo to wash the braids. And you don't want to scrub the braids. You just want to wash the scalp. But that can even be challenging for some of the parents because you cannot let the child go to bed with their hair wet. So that's another challenge. So you come into the salon and now your braids are in too long. They keep the braids in the kid's hair too long. Now it's time to get to that bulb right at the root. And it's like, well, I have to comb this out. Like I have to get this out. You know, you have to make it soft enough. So, you know, but then now the kid is squirming and this, that, and other. The proper maintenance, keeping it in too long. Let me tell you, Tanika, I shouldn't even be putting this out there, but I am. I had a client come to me. We were closed for 13 weeks. You know, for the 13 weeks we were closed, she did not wash her hair one time. How could you not wash your hair one time in the 13 weeks that we were gone? That is just, you want to talk about unclean, you know, so that is a problem. That is a problem. But anyway, this is Tisha McDonald, Alternatives Beauty Studio.
Tanika Gillard, Nikki of Naturally Yours. And I appreciate y'all joining us. I have a client under the dryer. So I'm going to be heading out. And I don't know if we're coming to you live on Sunday. We should, maybe. It's 4th of July. I hope y'all have a great 4th of July. Stay healthy, stay safe, wear your mask, and just be safe.
Yes. And this is Tisha McDonald, Alternatives Beauty Studio. Go check out my website, alternativesbeauty.studio, and check out my online store.
You could do the same at Naturally Yours. I am naturallyyours.com. Check out the beauty store.
We want to say goodnight. We will be live on Sunday. You can catch us on a replay if you're busy, if you're barbecuing or whatever. However, I'm doing nothing on 4th of July because of the situation where it is right now. I'll be at work though, but early in the morning, but I'm just making my day very light. I will be home on 4th of July. I'm not going to be in these streets.
So me neither, T. I'll be home.
Okay. Get back to your client. Guys, we wanted to say thank you for joining us today. We will see you soon. We will be back on Sunday. Have a good night. Thanks for joining the Twinness.
Thank you.